It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Acee, BK, Truth, Rick Star, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Shout out to everybody for watching. Welcome you to season 6, episode 10, the first episode of the new year. So welcome everybody to 2021. We made it. So we want to thank God for helping us to make it this far and so far. Shout out to everybody that supported everything we did in 2020. Shout out to everybody that supported the Feed the Homeless drives, the turkey drives, the toy drives, the clothing giveaways, the coat giveaways, and all the things that we did last year. So we thank you all for that. We thank you all for your support. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, gentlemen.
I mean, you already know. Acee Irving in the building. AI, I'm your Instagram. Acee Irving 11. If you don't see no 11, that's not me. I'm gonna just drink my snap.
And this is your boy, the man crying heights, Tom Hagen. Shout out to everybody. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year's to everybody. And we here with a very special guest. Introduce yourself.
My name's Thorly James. I'm just a college student, studying in the seminary, trying to do the work of God one day. I'm just happy to be here.
So shout out to Thorly, and we thank him for being here with us today. And we thank all of you for watching and all your continued support. Shout out to everybody that support the YouTube. That's www.youtube.com/therealwordtv. Shout out to everybody that supports us on Instagram at The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. www.facebook.com/therealword7. That's The Real Word 7, the number 7, or The Real Word Ministries, or The Real Word TV on Facebook. You can also catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Soundcloud, and also on Pandora, The Real Word Podcast. So we also on the Brick Network every Tuesday and Thursday. We're there 1 a.m., 12 noon, and 4 p.m. So shout out to everybody who's been supporting. Shout out to everybody that has been helping us to get this far so far. So we in the new year. Everybody's hype right now. We're just happy to make it. We're just happy to still be here. And we could also say that even with the stimulus check, some people got paid. So shout out to all the people that got paid their stimulus check, because I'm still waiting for mine. I haven't been stimulated yet for the new year.
Where's my $600?
Yeah, so, but shout out to everybody that got that, because, it's better than nothing, because they weren't trying to give us anything at all. So shout out to everybody that got a little bit of something.
We were supposed to get this since this summer.
Yeah, but it's a lot of back and forth, So we could name this episode New Year, New Mind, because everything starts in the mind, right?
Yeah.
So let's start off with that, because whenever we sit at this gold table, I feel like we have powerful conversations, and that's the whole purpose of sitting at this table as men. And we hope to get some women in this year, because, with Corona, it was kind of hard to get women in here, but, we hope to get some women in this year as guests. What you about to say? Sorry.
Oh, no, you can speak.
Yeah, so for the New Year's, what goals do you guys have? We can start with our guest, Thorly.
Man, I got some lofty goals that I'm continuing from last year. One of the things that is my passion that caused me to leave my industry, go back to school, is scholarship. Especially as a Seventh-day Adventist, black scholarship is not something that's very prevalent. So one thing I'm working on getting some things published. I'm working on some papers right now, so I'm excited about that. Who's excited about studying books and breaking down grammar and whatnot? But it's important for the people to understand the Word of God and understand it from the context of Black Adventism. So that's something that I'm working on. So that's one of my goals for this year.
So to write a book, you're saying?
I'm starting out with articles, starting out with small things, and if it materializes to a book, then, you know, so be it. But I'm starting small. I'm putting my hat where I can reach it, because, you know, as I'm learning, I'm writing. You know, I'm trying to take what I learned, put it into action. I'm not trying to learn something, shelf it, and wait 2 years down the line that when I'm in the field, I'm trying to use it. I'm trying to use it right now. And I'm in this mode, like, until I graduate, I will not stop learning. There's no downtime for me. So, you know, that's the mindset that I got right now.
Wow. So those are your personal goals and also your academic goals, right? Mixed with spiritual altogether?
I would say those are more so my academic goals, personal goals. Shout out. Might get married this year.
Congratulations.
You know what I mean? So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And, you know, I've been taking care of myself. You know, I mean, that's always something, you know, with Corona, you know, I mean, lose some of this, guess what? Personal development is always something good to do. So, you know, along with the scholarship, along with the family life, I want to do some personal things too. So, you know, those are the things I got on my plate right now.
Cool.
Progression is all about progression. Less people approval, less people addiction. Progression. Moving forward into new solutions in the midst of challenges, and staying focused and moving forward. Pretty much it.
So what are some things that you would like to see change within your community? Because we know you're big on community, especially in Crown Heights, Brooklyn area. And you always say that funerals don't count, right? That's what you stand on.
Yeah.
Funerals don't count, spread love now. And we see how you're spreading love in the community. And you've been doing it for a while, right?
I appreciate that.
For a while. So this year, how can you elevate that into the next level?
Man, just continue to maximize. I want to shout out Roddy Rebel for coming home. I think he did an excellent, wonderful thing for his community. You know, he came from a situation where he got caught up, but not to divulge in his past, because people make mistakes. And while people make mistakes, people can change and people can move in the right direction. He said, listen, I want to get back to my community. He spent over $20,000 and he paid for the groceries for the people in the community. So I want to see more of that in our community. Less people shooting, less people killing each other, especially as black people. More innovation when it comes to music, because I love music, and just getting a lot of rappers and a lot of R&B artists to get involved in the community, which is very key, which is very essential. So we definitely want to maximize 1,000% on that, and that's the goal and that's the objective.
And you?
I mean, me, for my New Year's, my goal is like, basically, I want to make, by the end of the year, December 31st, I want to make at least $150,000, right?
Wow.
You know, I already started off day one, so that's the goal. Also, I want to start on my own business, so I plan to do that as well. Start my own business, then, you know, get a new place, get a new car, things like that. But most definitely, also, I want to do, you know, like a free giveaway. I want to do at least one before the year ends.
What, you gonna do one on your own?
Yeah.
What you gonna give away?
I don't know what I'm gonna give away. Probably toys, food.
That's love. That's
But
love.
it's gonna be one or the other.
Anything is
It's
possible.
gonna be one or the other for sure. I'm gonna try to make it happen.
Franchise this thing, man.
Yeah, because I mean, like, my goal is to make 150K. So, you know, out of the 150K, you know, gotta give some back out, right?
So if you don't make the 150K, you're still gonna give, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna still be near the 150K.
It's on the record now, guys.
100K is still good enough to give back.
Yeah, facts. 20,000 could, like I said, 20,000 could do a lot. Like, I mean, my man spent 20,000. That's like the whole 90s from like 93rd, and
Yeah, that's always a great feeling.
yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And the things that to add to you, for things that for me, like, I've just thought is like, you know, doing good is not even about like, you know, just helping somebody. When you do good, you feel good. So when you're with yourself, knowing that you help somebody and it humbles you, the more you help someone, because God has helped us in so many other ways. So it's good it feels good to give back, and it feels good to help people. It feels good, you know.
You know, I like what I'm hearing, that we want to do things, and if we really kind of dissect some of the things that we're saying, it's almost like they're kind of reactionary. We want to give back.
Yeah.
We want to give somebody something so somebody can feel good. But, you know, the first thing we were talking about was a stimulus check. Now, the way how I look at a stimulus check is money that you never had, that you should never have. And what I mean by that is, you should get it, but you should never touch it. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like we need to get to a point, instead of saying, hey, instead of me giving you a toy, let me give you some education. So when they get this stimulus check, throw it in Tesla, throw it in Amazon, let it sit there and make you some money. You get what I'm saying?
Of course, I agree.
And I feel like that's something that we could give to the community that's bigger than toys. Toys are good, you know what I mean? Because, you know, kids don't know about stocks and whatnot. But I feel like
I agree.
for a lot of memes that I saw, and even though there were jokes, they were a real reflection of the black community. People are really waiting for this money so they could actually pay down some bills from Christmas. And it kind of shows some of the bad habits that we do have. And I'm not saying that everybody has bad habits, but we need to be at a place where we're positioned, like as soon as we get an extra blessing that we know we didn't necessarily deserve, or we didn't necessarily work for, we take it, we put it into something so it could bless us more in the future. And I think that's some of the mindsets that we need to, some of the things to push into our communities, to help our community, that when we get a little extra something, you know what I mean, every time you went to go spend $10, take $10 and put it into a little savings thing, a little investment, you know, buy some fractional shares, make some money, because if you put it in the bank, you are going to make so little compared to if you put it in the stock market.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
make
saying?
about 10 cents.
Exactly. So that kind of wisdom needs to be out there.
No, definitely. I agree with you in regards to saying that financial literacy, that's very, very key. Teaching people about the importance of credit, that's very, very key as well too. You feel me? I'm with all that 1000%.
Yeah, but it all starts with the class. But the classrooms don't teach us that.
Yeah, but I think that we as a people just have to educate what we're doing right now.
But it's a classroom right here, bro.
This is a different type of classroom. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But I think it's all about
up.
it's about education, just educating people.
I still got my first stimulus check. What I did was I put I believe 600 into Robinhood, and I put 1,000 into Acorn. And since then,
is that a stimulus? 600, 1,000?
Yeah, I think the first one was how much, like
1,200
and
something else.
Yeah, 12 yeah. I put some on top of it, but still, like I broke it down, and every time like it went over 1,000 a little bit. Sometimes I pull out the residuals if it got an extra 100 or so, but it's still there. Like I haven't used it yet, but like the best way not to spend your money is to diversify your income and have multiple streams of income, but also to have multiple bank accounts. That way you put like 1,000 about each of them, and then like sometimes I go as far as to like I don't have statements sent to my house anymore, and then I just forget the passwords, and then I'll put like 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 100 here, 100 there. And even if you put 100, you leave it for a few years. After a while, you got at least 130, 150.
That's a fact.
And one thing that people don't, a simple thing, like when the bank sends you statements to your house, they charging you for that. Like they charge you the paper fee. So you could save that paper fee if you just make them send everything electronically, which you probably got the app anyways. So you don't even need to pay that fee. Because I remember I had one bank, and they was charging me, I think, what was it, like $20 a year for just paper. So it's like, it's crazy.
But a lot of people don't even know that, man. A lot of people don't even think about that, because sometimes what I've heard in the black community is like, when you tell people to invest, when you tell people to put money away, they're like, well, it's just this, it's just that. And they're waiting for like a big lump sum of money to do something, when, you know, there's a saying in Jamaica, every nickel makes a muckle, you know, every cent makes another, you know what I mean? It adds up. And once we keep that mindset, like, listen, it just take one step, you know, to go to 1,000 miles. That's what the mindset that people need to have. Just put it away. Keep putting away, and that's how you get that big money at the end of the day. And you know, that's a good mind frame to have, man.
So my goal for this year, like I told y'all on New Year's Eve, is basically like, to me, sky's the limit. You feel me? I feel like last year a lot of the things that we was accomplishing, I didn't know how we was gonna accomplish it with the pandemic. People not really donating. Money not really coming in. Still, sometimes we was able to raise 1,000 in like a week. And the way it goes is most of the time people don't really donate until they see other people donating. And sometimes, to be honest, I gotta be the first one to donate. I'll be like, okay, we just got $400. I'll put $400 up of my own money just to see if other people are gonna donate.
That's real.
Yeah, because no one really donates until nobody makes the first donation. So, you know, if I gotta give myself first and last. You understand?
I understand.
So that's how we was able to make it work. And then God made ways. Like, God sent us, shout out to Sheila, God sent us her. You know, she held us down a lot. You know,
that's the one that I met.
Yeah, she was moving and she was like, help me sell everything in my whole estate. She had a whole mansion, and she was like, I'll give you a percentage, and we used that percentage to fund the toy drive. Nice. So we would have probably never got the donation that would be enough to buy that many toys, and we gave over 170 toys.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
shout out to Sheila. She's awesome.
Yeah. So like, to me, sky's the limit. You know, I'm gonna just keep trying to multiply off of what I got already. Doing
phenomenal.
And social media has helped us to build this big so far.
Commendable.
And you know,
more viewers.
Sometimes you gotta give the people what they like. Like, you know, like that recent picture.
The double love.
Yeah.
The car.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta give the people what they want to draw in their attention. Like I said, like the video that we had of giving out the toys before that picture dropped, we was at like 900 and something views, close to 1,000. After that picture dropped, that video shot up to 6,000, which means I had traffic of over 5,000 people come to the page just based on that picture.
That car, you caught me too.
It did on
What is this?
It did on Instagram. Like, I reached over 60,000 people.
Wow. Yeah.
Like
something gonna pop
of just one picture.
Something gonna pop.
So it's like, to me, that's all a learning experience. I'm learning about the analytics. I'm learning about
the algorithms too.
About the algorithms.
And the nature of people. Man.
Yeah, and I'm learning about how to go viral. Because like I said, all of this will start off with one sermon that hit 55,000 views.
That's
and I haven't been able to hit over 55,000 on one video since then. So, you know, and we've come close. We came like 40, 45... like 49, 46, but we could never hit that number.
I think what we need to do is that we need to do a podcast with cars.
With cars?
You know what I mean? Like what you did with the cars, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
Yeah, cars, and then having the pot. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. You feel me? To be like, yo, what?
We're selling a Honda today.
Oh, what's going on here? Like, yo, you guys are in the room. It's full of cars. You know what I'm talking about?
That's gonna be expensive.
Just to sit down and like do a podcast like a car situation.
We can see because I'm talking to the owner, and you know, that's another thing I'm trying to do this year. Like, I'm trying to build on every relationship, every person that I come across. I'm gonna see how I could help them and how we could help each other.
Go viral.
So basically, like, I'm trying to like really use my influence and brand it. So like, all of the people I come across, especially business owners and people that's doing business, I could bring them back to the real word. You understand?
How many years we've been together? It's 2 years, right? It's been 3 years?
No, we got the 501c3 in 2018.
Okay, so it's been like 2.
I think, no.
2, right?
We've been doing this since 2017, late 2017, early 2018.
But we close, bro.
2.5 years.
We close, bro.
About to be 3.
Yeah, I close, bro. I'm telling you, it's just about consistency. And like I said, man, sometimes, you know, I was just talking shout out to Sheila, you know, just telling her situation. You know, I don't want to put, you know, situations out there, but how she basically, you know, when I met her, she was very impressed. By the way, she met my brother Rickard and everything. I just said nothing but good things about him. You know what I'm saying? He was outside and everything like that. And she was like, you know, sometimes it takes people that's outside your circle to really understand your vision. You know, you really can't explain, because, you know, when people are familiar with you, they like to really, you know, because they box themselves in, they want to box you in, which is okay. You feel me? So sometimes it takes you to get out your circumference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and really build with other people, strangers, and be like, yo, listen, I see what you're doing. Yo, here's this, and here's that, and here's this, and here's that. And I think that's what we need to focus on, is just focusing on those ravens. Remember those ravens in the Bible that blessed The Prophet, you know, focus on the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they out there.
My thing is like this whole platform right now. Like I feel like when I built this studio, I built a gateway
Yeah, fact.
where like you know, because we over 140 something episodes in.
That's facts.
So I could safely say that there's been at least over 50 guests that came on the show.
That's facts.
So probably way more.
That's a fact.
I'm just going low in order to be safe.
Right.
So imagine now, that's a network that we created because all those people know people that know people that know people, and we're trying. There's a lot of people doing black business, and it's like we would all like to connect. Shout out to my boy Alden. He does the tea, the geniusly brewed tea. Like we in contracts right now. Shout out to Alden. We're gonna start promoting his product on the show. Very natural tea where you gotta use the fala to take the tea leaves out the
That's
water.
love,
and everything.
bro. That's beautiful.
So yeah, like
Make sure your throat is healthy.
like I supported
that's beautiful.
his business, and you know we was talking business on, you know, just promoting natural products on the show, you know, and Jaquan gave the same idea of promoting natural products. Shout out to Alan, he sells the sea moss, all the things that, you know, could help us during this time.
That's beautiful.
And you know, these are people I grew up with. Shout out to my boy Nolan, he has a trucking company and he has the personal home gym. He's training in
Sponsorship.
he's training and he's a personal trainer, and he's also starting his trucking company with his girl. So these are all people like that I grew up with now.
That's beautiful.
That, you know, like they saw what we was able to do.
That's beautiful.
And then they inspired themselves, and then they got their LLC, they got what they gotta do and got what they got going. So with this platform, you know, we already got the media here.
That's beautiful.
We could just help promote them all and keep promoting.
Yeah.
And we could just keep growing that way organically.
That's a fact.
Because same way how the other communities have everything within, we need to start building everything within too.
That's a fact.
And again, shout out to Sheila, because she was like, my community, as in her Jewish community, like they stick together and they support one another where they don't really gotta go outside for help. And she was like my community is doing very good. I thought it was time I help members of another community, which is our community.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes, you know, you gotta God will send you people to help you
That's a fact.
move in ways, you know. And
yeah.
now that, you know, God is good, I got the masters, you know, I was able to obtain.
Congratulations.
Shout out to
Thank
you.
you, thank you.
Congratulations.
I was able to obtain like better employment, you know, and with those resources, you know, I'm gonna take care of home, but I'm also gonna be able to better help the community as well.
That's a fact.
You know, and we're looking into other revenue streams where we could really build upon everything that we've been doing.
Let's do it. I'm with it. I'm with all that.
So that's really what I'm trying to do for this year. You know, maybe pick up more education.
Yeah.
You know, you saying the next 4
Definitely.
years I'm gonna be doctor.
Nah, we gotta encourage people, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Anything is possible, man.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try to retake the LSAT because I'm still trying to get into law school, but I might work on an MBA too, a Master's in Business Administration, just to really understand.
Anything is
business.
possible. Anything is possible,
So
bro.
go for the MBA.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. I actually started the application for MBA online. So we see what's up.
Anything is possible.
MBA.
Shout out to all the people out there that thought that SBA was hitting when the double law pulled up.
Yeah. So my thing is that that card isn't for the company. It's just a situation that just put this for traction.
We can't talk about that on camera.
I understand. That's
something
fine. That's a
personal behind
fine. That's a fine. Say less.
Yeah, we can't talk about certain things.
Okay, I understand.
Man, you know?
I get you. I just want to talk about that Chinese billionaire. Why do you think he's missing?
Hey, people hungry, man. And China's communists. They could come for you at any time with no reason.
Wow. That's real. That's real talk.
It's communist China. Everybody know China's communist, bro. So
Yeah. It's about everybody.
right now, a lot of people starving. A lot of people going through difficult times. So, you know, like people hungry. You know, when people hungry, they gonna find ways to eat.
They're gonna eat off somebody.
Wow.
You know, maybe he said something against the Chinese government. I honestly don't know much about that situation, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
But people been disappearing a lot in China for multiple reasons. One, they're doing religious persecution, where, like, you know, they're persecuting people. Christians is one of the groups, and Muslims. are one of the groups that's being persecuted, like putting them in concentration
But
camps.
why China's doing that? I don't understand.
Because they're communists, they could do whatever they want.
Wow.
And then they're saying that the people that they're putting in these camps, like they're harvesting their organs. Like China is like, they make a lot of money off of selling organs. And you know, like technically, like in the U.S., right, you gotta be on a wait list for mad long for an organ, for like a match and to find a donor and everything. In China is right away, but it's a little bit more expensive. But so they was asking, where's China getting all these organs so quick at?
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
if that's true. That's nuts.
That is crazy. Wow.
yeah, man. So how do you guys feel about this year? Like, do you think it's gonna be better than last year?
I think it's gonna be better then. I think it's gonna be better. So far, so good. My year started great.
It's only been 4 days.
It's been so far. It's been great. It's been great.
Optimism.
It's been very, very great. Last year was very monstrous. We lost a lot of people, which is very unfortunate, which is very sad. Even though there was a lot of losses last year, there's a lot of people who won last year too. You know what I'm saying? People who got situations and they're doing phenomenal and doing great. But it's just, you know, this year just, you know, a moment of being grateful, being more intentional, and just progressing. You know, so.
So what about you guys? Like,
I don't know. I'm taking it one day at a time. How I look at it is this: last year was something that nobody saw. Not even the prophecy pimps on the internet saw.
That's a
what was coming.
fact.
You see what I'm saying?
Prophecy pimps.
Nobody knew what was coming.
They're there.
They're there, but this is the thing, right? People are still standing now, which means that people are capable of pivoting. We are here, which means that even though we didn't call a board meeting and say, yo guys, how are we going to combat this thing? The fact that we're here, it means that in some way or form we pivoted. We pivoted by wearing masks. We pivoted by, you know, getting our hands dry, by sanitizing it to death. We did something. And the fact that we are capable of stopping in a horrific time and doing something that will help us to sustain ourselves means that whatever 2021 may have for us, we have the capability to address it head on as well. So I'm not worried, and I'm not saying that in any kind of arrogant way, because you know what, if it's my time, it's my time. But I feel like we have the experience, we have the wisdom, and we have the wherewithal to pivot as best as we can and to just make the best of what things are. And think about this. There are external situations and there are internal situations. And if your life is set up that when things shake on the outside, it messes up stuff on the inside, then that means that you don't really have a strong foundation. So my thing is that build your strong foundation.
Build your foundation.
Build your foundation, you know what I'm saying? And if Corona happens, if something happens, you just pivot, you just do what you gotta do, and just keep on moving.
Man, God is in control, period.
That's
what
it.
I've learned. God is in control.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, based on 2020, what I could take on for today is that for 2021, the way this world is moving, we're moving into like a virtual world now, where, you know, 6 feet apart, social distancing. So, you know, things like the fast food industry is finished because, you know, social distancing, they want less people. So I feel like for 2021, how to be successful is basically see where this world is going, which is a virtual world, and look for virtual opportunities, because that's how this new world is gonna work. Because I mean, they do tell us that this is the new normal, so we even though we know what COVID really is for, we still gotta know that there is things that they tell us that we should listen to. Like the virtual world, like buying Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, because without the dollar value is dropping. So I feel like we should adapt to that, and 2021, that's basically what I'm learning, and I'm gonna pick up on those things.
I think that the dating scene should be real interesting. You know, there's no more movies, no really eating out. You know, especially in New York, there's not much to do besides take them to the crib.
So that's why, like right now,
Maybe take a walk.
now everything is B&Bs, tellies, hotels, things like that. This is where all the parties and stuff.
But I think with like with situations like this, I think people try to make the best out of it. From what I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Black people always gonna party.
That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. Of course, that's ingrained in our culture. That's the fact. But I just feel like, just people used, in the midst of a pandemic, I just feel like people have used the best out of situations, just from what I've seen. People's families got closer. People learn to interact with the people that they love more, be more intentional.
Some people got closer, some people got further.
That's a fact. It is what it is. So,
what you guys think about that whole Nancy Pelosi situation where her and Mitch McConnell, they got their house vandalized?
I think the people are tired. People are electing people to serve them, and they feel like people don't deliver.
Nope.
I think people are tired.
Well, people have been tired.
People are tired. People want to work. People want to make money.
COVID been stressing.
You know what I'm saying? People like the IRS wants your money.
The IRS be robbing.
But when you facts. And when you're a taxpayer, you're a citizen. You put in work. You do everything by the books. People are just tired. People feel like government should. Huh?
The books they wrote.
Yeah, exactly. People want, like something when you see Canada, they serve their citizens phenomenally. England, France, same thing. They serve their citizens phenomenally.
Canada's most definitely
they serve their phenomenally. The thing is, if you put in work, you bust your behind and you do everything by the T,
they ain't got a stimulus problem.
You should be able to at least, your government is supposed to be able to serve you. And I feel that we should be able. I feel like $600 is not enough. I feel like $1,000 one time is not enough. Like if they can fund the military expenses,
$2,000 a month.
Yeah, they can. They could definitely fund the people who have served
every 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly, fairly, and they could come with that solution. It's not rocket science.
What do you think about that?
I think people are hurting, and sometimes when the people who should be listening are not listening, the people who you elect to listen are not listening to you. Just like a child, you have to get somebody's attention. It's just like with, for example, the Black Lives Matter movement. Some people felt like in order for them for people to feel their pain, they had to really do what they had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now, they just wrote Black Lives Matters on the floor. That's it.
Well, I'm not justifying how people do things. I'm just saying people want to get people's attention. And at the end of the day, when you look at certain people are serving certain people. So, you could go out there and paint their house red. It don't matter because, people are in their position to serve a certain agenda. But it's really sad when individuals who should really be serving the public are really serving only a certain set of folks.
The corporation.
Exactly. And, after they do that, then what? After you spray paint somebody's house, then what? It's still not going to get us what we want. But at the same time, those who are in the places where they can actually do something, they actually should do something. And that's why I feel like sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword. And we have to know when to employ that. And in employing that, we will have more change.
Beautiful said. Wow.
So you think certain people with a certain degree of intellect should pen letters to certain officers?
Not necessarily pen, but it's, for example, somebody said something earlier about laws and IRS and everything like that. Somebody's always getting rich. Why? Because somebody takes the time to read the books that people don't read. You get what I'm saying? Somebody sit down and say, hey, lawyer, find me that caveat, find me that loophole, give me that out. But because we look at them stack of pages, we're like, nah, I'm out, son. Somebody got to read it. Somebody wrote that. Humanity put that together. Mistakes are in it. Not everything is thought about, and the smarter mind will win. So my thing is that you put your best and your brightest where they're supposed to be, and they'll get stuff done. One thing I admire, the LGBT community.
There we go.
They make strides. Why? Because they say the pen is mightier than the sword. Where do you see, the LGBT community fighting and vandalizing? Why? Because they're using their mind rather than their hands. You get what I'm saying?
I would say it's because they have individuals in their community in high-ranking positions.
But we have that too.
In politics and in the private sector.
We have that too.
But I don't think, okay.
But they have it more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say a gay white man and a gay white woman have more power than a black gay man or a black gay woman.
Of course.
But and you know that could be true, but at the same time, it's like we have to use everybody who we can. You see what I'm saying? If there's somebody who has wisdom, put them in a certain place. But there's something, you know, that I've noticed where we don't trust people to do certain things. You know what I mean? We don't say, hey,
It's hard
you
to
know,
trust out here.
well, it's hard, but it's not impossible, and we have to. But the problem is we use that as something, as our own obstacle. We say things are hard, tough. We got to put people where they need to be. I can't do certain things, so I need to put you where you can do it. You see what I'm saying? And if you can do it, I'm gonna put you where your strengths are. But the problem is we want to manage folks who are doing things that we don't have the wisdom over. And what we do, we pigeonhole people, and we pigeonhole the progress that we can make.
It's a problem.
Also, we want to see progress in a short time when really
the
and
short time is
truly
very
we won't see that progress for generations. You know, MLK, he didn't live to see a black president, and he knew that in his time he would never see a black president.
You said that.
You see what I'm saying? So when we move, we're not doing stuff for our generation. We're doing it for the next generation, and that's a mindset that we really need to have. That what we're building now, we're not building for now, and that's why my mom always said this to me. She said, "Today is a sum total of yesterday, and if you want to see a change tomorrow, you have to be different today." And we can talk about change now, but if we're not about change now, tomorrow is just going to be like today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we gotta try to be better tomorrow than we was today.
Have to.
Wow,
Also, it's a
beautiful.
waste of time.
Generational wealth.
The Martin Luther King speech that you're referring to is when he said, I may not make it with you to the mountaintops. And I remember reading that speech when he said that, and the biggest problem I feel like with us, especially with the younger generation, is that they want everything fast, you know, fast cars, fast money, fast women. And it's like the older generations of wealth, like they were looking for the people that came after them, not just out for themselves. Like I read up on something the other day where this guy was talking about the purpose of a trust fund, and he was like his grandfather left a trust fund in the 1980s for all of his descendants to go to college, and he said that their descendants are still going to college from that trust fund until this day.
Look at that.
Including himself. So it's like, we don't think that way, you know? And a lot of us, we bash the conventional knowledge, but to be honest, a lot of us don't got the wherewithal or the ability to run businesses. A lot of us don't know that most businesses fail the first year. Like, you'd be lucky to break even, but we all say, we're not going to school's for suckers, we're going to go hustle. But meanwhile, you're hustling on the streets and you make maybe 20, 30,000 for the year, right? You could have made that work at McDonald's all day, you know, without risking going to jail.
Exactly.
You know, so a lot of people, like, they don't really do the math. I feel like yesterday I'm currently on vacation from my 9 to 5, which means I'm still getting paid while being home, right? Instead of just staying home, I go and I do Uber. Yesterday I did Uber, I made like 100 or something, nothing too crazy. But when I broke down the math, it came out to almost $26 an hour, you know? And I was like, most people not even making $26 an hour, because if we do the math,
Just for 26,000?
$26 an hour.
26,000. That's not bad.
$26 an hour come out to like, I think like 46 or 48,000 a year.
That's not
Which
bad.
is not bad at all.
Yeah, that's not
Because it's gonna be hard for you to make at least 50 racks scamming. I'm not saying that you can't do it, because there's people that do.
You have to work hard.
Yeah, and hope not to get caught. Because once you start hitting 50, the Fed's coming for you. So like that's the way I look at game. Like, you know, like the multiple streams of income.
That's
trying to help
real.
everybody else, and instead of, you know, buying designer and wasting money, like we help the community. You know, like that's a different way. You know, I feel like it's a different level of respect where you could go into your op's hood and feed his block.
Yeah. It's like they're gonna be very mad at you, but they're not gonna come after you, because it's like you fed his hood. He just mad because he couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the things that if we're talking about changing hearts and minds, I feel like we have to kind of drop certain monikers. Like, yo, why you gotta be my ops? We're both brothers from the same place, and I understand that the thing that we're born into dictates that we should be that. You see what I'm saying? Bro, I grew up in Glenwood Projects. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jihad.
So I'm expected to be a certain thing, but I said, nah, that's not going to define who I am. You get what I'm saying? So if we are still operating in that and we're not trying to break that down, then no matter what we accomplish, we are still not making the strides that we are making. So when I see you, I don't care what you're wearing. You're my brother. And we want to build together. And not until we can break down certain walls that we can actually do what we can do. We can have the black banks that we want to have. We can get the Renaissance out of our community. We can get the Chinese restaurants out of our community that's giving us bad food. The liquor stores out of our community. Those things that debilitate minds. Put in good food sources in our community where our people can go get good jobs and eat well and have fresh minds. That's the type of thing that we have to do, man. Because it's like, why are we fighting each other because of a color?
We color bang for the wrong reason. In regards to, we should be racist in the sense that I'm not talking about racist like hold another group of people down. I'm talking about racist in regards to look after people that look like you and me, and then help other people that don't look like us, like every other race does.
Exactly.
You understand? As in, like, in other races, perfect example, right? When the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant was starting to become a minority, he started counting every other group that looked similar to him as himself, which included the Italian, the Irish, the Jew, and eventually even the Spanish, because Hispanics could claim white.
Yeah, Spain.
Not even the Hispanics from Spain, the Hispanics from Puerto Rico.
Oh, word?
Yeah. And you claim your main race as white and then your ethnic group as Hispanic.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen it done. So, in regards to us now, other races are able to beef with one another, but when other people come in, they know to click up, to unite. Like, okay, same way how the Spanish people do it with Goya, same way how the white people did it with white supremacy. Like, if we don't stop these blacks, they're gonna take all of our women and sleep with them and take all our jobs. That was enough for them, That was enough for them. They was like, you know what? Let's go. I'm on your team. They literally called gangs from every state to come up to New York and get rid of all the blacks that was working in the ports. That's what the movie Gang of New York is based upon. They did the same thing with Central Park. Central Park had a community of African Americans that was thriving in Central Park.
And I think the mayor said, eminence domain.
Yeah, we're gonna build a park.
Yeah.
Give me this. Yeah.
They always hate.
So we seen it happen, in regards to us as black people. Just like perfect examples, the Mason Lodges, right? Like Nas said it. He said there's lodges within every state, within every nation. Yeah. So if I'm on a run, I'm always gonna have some place to stay, right?
Who said that?
Nas said something like that about like there's lodges all across the nation. So if I'm on the run, there's always a place for me to go. Like, that's how they set up that brotherhood. Like, there's always gonna be someone in position somewhere that's gonna help his brother out. Whether it's the courthouse all the way down to the police precinct. If you a brother of the same fraternity, I gotta look out for you. And that's with every fraternity, every secret society. So within the black community, we got the boule, which is, the bougie blacks that got power, that's, working for whoever they working for. But within the blacks, like, we could help one another. Like, Dr. Eric Dyson, is that his name? Dr. Eric Dyson and Claude Anderson, they speak about group economics and coming together and doing this, the different level of tiers. Like, Claude Anderson describes it as a building. He said the first floor is economics, because everything starts on money. If we could bring in money, then we could build on everything else. And then if we could bring in money, then we could go to politics, because we could buy politicians like every other group does. Yeah. And we see that with the Jews. Like, they've been coming in a lot, even with JFK. JFK was, I think, the first Catholic president, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, political power is big. Like, it's very big. And we as blacks, we get someone like Kamala Harris. And we saw her family. Her family don't look like our family.
Nope.
So, no.
Shout out to the Jamaican side.
Well, she don't be around Jamaica, so you see.
She really do. And a lot of Jamaicans are happy about that.
Listen, that's what it is.
She was born there, but she's non-claiming.
Yo, but yeah, like every race look out for each other. Like they know when, even in prison's the perfect example. You know, where the white gangs, the Aryan gangs in prison will snitch on other black people, but they won't snitch on their own. You know, they all click up. Spanish people with Spanish people, black people with black people, white people with white people, and that's how they move. And that's really how they move out here in the regular world. It's just that when the blacks are with one another, they're killing each other, and anyone could come into the black community and violate them, and there's no protection, there's no order, there's no stability, there's no emergency care services, there's none of that. You know, and we don't have neighborhoods, we have hoods. We don't really have communities, we have hoods, you know? Hood, like your shirt say. That's what we have. And in the hood, everything is owned by people that don't live in the community. And, you know, and so we color bang for the wrong reason. We color bang with the red, the blue, the green, the white, you know. But when it comes to color banging, like, okay, I represent the black community. I'm gonna do business. I'm gonna try to break my dollar 10 times within my community before I go outside. But we don't, you know. Like, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's possible to hire a black handyman, a black plumber, go to a black grocery store, a black corner store, if we own them, but we don't.
You know, that's a very powerful thought, man. And I'm listening to you, and I'm saying, yo, why are we having this conversation in this room? I feel like we should be having this conversation in front of our community. You see what I'm saying? And continue to have this conversation. But while I'm thinking about that, I'm looking in the room in my mind and I'm saying, snap, somebody's mom is not there. Why? Because in order for her to survive, she has to work a certain amount of hours, which means that the community meetings that we need to have where we can empower and educate each other, she would love to make it, but she can't make it because she has to live. And I feel like there's a system and there's a place, and she's doing that. And that's why I feel like, for me, my education was for my mother. You see what I'm saying? My mother worked very hard to make sure that I had an education. So once she gave me a certain level of education, I got my 2 bachelors in engineering and I was working in aerospace. I said, you know what? The rest of the way, I'm going to go. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I'm back in school right now, working in 2 masters. So for me, I feel like it's on us, who we're standing between 2 generations, and we're like Janus, we're looking forward and we're looking backwards, and we have a voice that is different from theirs, because their voices are silent. Their voices are like, hey, just keep your head low and work hard. But we're like, nah, you did that, so now we are going to speak up. And I feel like we're speaking in this box. We need to be speaking outside, because what we speak and what we do, again, as I said before, it's not going to be for us. It's going to be for the generation after us. And we're always going to have hoods. We're always going to have a lopsided community. We're never going to have a front yard. We're never going to have a picket fence where we are. We're always going to have to work twice as hard, you know, to get half as much as the others, unless somebody says, you know, yo, the buck stops right here. We're going to do it. We're going to change it. We're going to be that change makers. And if we can come together and we can do that and we can sacrifice, I believe that at some point in time we will have that change, and we will see more of our people in certain places doing certain things and having certain advantages that we don't have now.
The only thing I would disagree with you in regards to is, yeah, we in this box, but the only good thing about being in this box is the platform that we've built here with the camera, you know?
No, I'm not knocking it.
Because,
I'm not knocking it.
No. Let me just finish the thought, because outside, the only real platforms we have really is the church. And we seen how that could be manipulated, either shut down. If you talking too hot, talking what they don't want to hear, they push you to the side, or like, you know, drama and all that other stuff comes and goes in the church. And the church is very conservative, especially when it comes to politics and things in the community. The church, I feel like, always do about, if we're from here, from the table, the church does about this much. Then they got to do all the church things, like, you know, baptism, communion, tithes, offerings, conference events, make it look pretty, and politics, committee, and board meetings and stuff like that. But other than that, that's it. That's it. Like, you know, and I was in the federation. I'm still in the federation, and they told me, They was like, yo, we only gotta do a couple events that's mandatory from the conference. Once we do those mandatory events, there's not really much we could really do. You understand? So if you're willing to go outside, you gotta be braiding, you gotta find funding. In regards to politics, like that's something that I've studied. And you're right, a lot of the board meetings, community board meetings, where they choose what day they're gonna pick up garbage, what day you could park on alternate sides, what funding comes to your community and your schools. We don't even know when those things are.
But we don't have a seat at the table, man.
Exactly. And then on top of that, to get into politics, really, you need backers and funders, because you can't really have a 9-to-5 and then jump into politics. It's very hard. So a lot of these people, like, they got lobbyists behind them. They got super PACs. They got these people that's making donations, that's funding them in order for them to, like, for you to run for politics, like, somebody got to give you at least 50, 60,000 off the bat, because that's going to be your salary, right? Plus all your other expenses that you got to do every year, your bills, and you got to get on planes, go different places, campaigning, traveling from place to place, you know, and it's a big marketing campaign, basically, because your face got to be everywhere.
That's
billboards, posters, buttons. You got to have your own little office where people come in and they see you, and you got to do all this stuff. And all that becomes expensive, so the average person can't really do it. That's why we see now most of the politicians that we have are rich. You know, they low-key rich. Like, most of them are millionaires. And it's like, these people, like, they get to chill while you suffering, because they don't got to suffer the way you suffering. And maybe that's the reason why people going after these politicians' homes. Because it's like, all right, like, we suffering, we coming straight for you. And that's where it's at right now. Yeah. But in regards to, like, platforms where
this two going ham.
Yeah, in regards to platforms where, like,
bow.
we could really sit up and, like, really talk. Like, perfect example on Facebook. Look how much times Facebook shut us down. Deleted our episodes. Episodes vanish. You know, they mess with the algorithms. They don't let us take out certain ads or promote certain episodes because of the content that we speaking upon. You know, like, that's how they move with this. YouTube not ours, Facebook not ours. None of the platforms that we are on, we own.
Nope.
Not one. And if we stand outside with a blowhorn and start talking, people gonna look at us like we crazy. Like, what this person talking about, man? Go sit down.
And that's all right, bro. I feel like we should treat everything like it's COVID. How we gonna pivot through this? Because if we look at the obstacle, then we gonna think about how we're gonna get around it. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people just gave into going, like, yo, I guess I'm gonna die from this. But some people's like, nah, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Some people sold their houses and gonna move to the country.
A lot of
because you know what, they wanna survive this, so they're pivoting in some kind of way.
Yeah.
So if we gotta go out there and look stupid, but we know that it's a snowball effect, let it be. But the problem is, it's hard for one person.
Of course.
As you said, you need people, and I feel like if this is the Underground Railroad right here, let it be that. You see
I think it's a start. I think with every initiative that's done, I think we can definitely speak to the people. But like, after everything is said and done, because I think the best way, I know for a fact the best way the community, for example, I'll give a perfect example. I remember one time, because my neighbor is a Crip and Blood neighborhood, and I remember one time, one of the big homies.
So you got on blue?
That's not the point. Let me continue. I'm telling something very serious. But moving forward, as I was basically saying, was that Jehovah's Witnesses was coming to the neighborhood. And it was like, yo, what you doing in the neighborhood? It's like, we don't need that in the neighborhood. Like, we already got a pastor, he's over here. And I think that, and it's like, wow. And then one of the Jehovah's was like, yo, bro, why they look at you high regard? I'm like, listen, you can't just come here and just knock at people's doors and just give them a track that's like outdated and everything like that. You actually got to meet the needs of your community and actually, you know, sit down and talk to the people and make with the people. I just feel like what you guys are doing is phenomenal. I think with every initiative that is done, you know, you could be like, yo, listen, the reason why we're here is because we're here to empower the community, love the community, which is evident today. And you could put a little message in that, in how we as a people, we need to wake up. And we need to rise up and let's come together and let's build. I think that right there will be very pivotal. That's just my sense with everything. You know what I'm saying? But a need has to be met in order for something like that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the people who support you. You got the people.
So to close out, closing thoughts, gentlemen. Let's start off with you.
Yo, I just feel like what everything was being said tonight was phenomenal in regards to just bringing more awareness. We have a lot of work to do. And the work starts with us.
What's one way that we can bring more awareness this year? What's a way, you think, to make more people aware of everything that we're doing?
Just maximize.
By doing what?
Doing more initiatives as we have done probably before, but with meeting people's needs, telling people, having a mic, why we're here, what is our purpose, and we need people who's on the same type of timing that we're on to clearly understand what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have that on social media, you have that on TV, which is a great platform, but to let the people know, listen, after you're done what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because people will come to anything that's free, they'll come. You understand? There's no fighting with that. Anything that's free, no matter what it is.
No, they're gonna fight.
You think so?
In the line.
We never had nobody fight though.
Not physical fight, but, verbal fight.
In the line?
Yeah.
Where have you seen that?
A little bit, but nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy, but you know what I mean. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I think just reinstating what is our mission, what is our cause, and what we're doing, and I think that in itself can really make serious statements. That's just my personal opinion.
For me, my closing thought, it's a new year. Don't, whatever you were doing in 2020, it's a new year. You gotta elevate, try something new. Whatever was not working last year, come up with new strategies for this year, because it's a new year, new beginnings.
Yep.
So, you can't stand still. You can't be doing the same thing, because
That's a
if you're
fact.
doing the same thing, then you're not elevating yourself.
That's right.
Closing thoughts?
Just be kind to one another, man.
That's real.
Just be nice. It's rough for a lot of people out there. It's rough for a lot of families out there. Just be nice. That's it. Just be
That's
nice.
real.
You forgot to talk about your clothing line.
Oh yeah, man.
I wore some of your stuff on the show.
Yeah, man. Yo, I appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate the shout out, man. And it goes back to what you spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
We support each other, we shout each other out, and we build a community. That's what we're about, And if we wear each other, we make each other rich. We all can live comfortable, spending the money in the community, man.
Of course.
So shout out.
So where can they find the clothing?
You can find my clothing. Go to Day 7 LLC on Instagram. Once you go there, you'll see the link to the store. Just support it. A lot of new designs coming out. It's a black-owned business. It's a Christian t-shirt and hoodie company. Go there. Wear your faith. Tell somebody about Christ without even opening your mouth. And
the link gonna be in the description. And you tell them where they can find your stuff at.
Funerals don't count. Just find me on Instagram, Mr. Cameau, MrCameau, or you can find me on Facebook. Funerals don't count. Spread love now. Funerals don't count. Spread love now.
And if they want a Funerals Don't Count t-shirt,
they could definitely check that on the website through Funerals Don't Count on Facebook.
Okay. So we thank you all for joining us today. My closing thought is this: continue to just level up and elevate, regardless of what the naysayers may say and the haters might do.
Yeah.
Just continue to live in your own head until everybody sees the vision that you have in your mind. That's one of the things that I've been doing. I live in my own head, and then somehow I bring it to life with the help of God. And this is living proof. And if I could do it, I'm sure you can do it. And just put God first, and God's gonna provide, and God's gonna show you the way. So to close out, Thorly, you wanna pray to close us out?
Yeah, sure. Let's pray, gentlemen. God of heaven, I just want to give you thanks for these men, this platform, and the heart that you've given them to want to speak on the issues that are relevant to themselves, their families, and their communities. Lord, they would not know here on earth the effect that their words and their influence will have, but eternity will tell the difference. For every child that receive a toy, Lord, the hope and the joy that they have received, for every family, Lord, that received the information, every stove that got a turkey, Lord, that's the blessings from above. And I thank you, God, for putting the heart within these gentlemen to serve their community the way that they have. God, we're asking you this. You said in your words, Lord, that if we even consider the poor, that you will bless that person. And these men, Lord, through this ministry are more than considering the poor. So we're asking, Lord, for 2021, however you need them to turn, however you need them to be, Lord. I pray that you may open the coffers of heaven, Lord, and bless them in a way that they will be able to reach the community, not just with toys, not just with turkey, but with information, Lord. And on the flip side, I pray, God, that there may be receptive hearts, that there may be receptive ears, that the community may change and become better for it. And as they paid forward, there will be an effect in the community, that there will be a change all around. So God, we thank you for this platform. Continue to bless it. Continue to bless every family that's represented here tonight. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. So shout to everybody that's watching live. I see a couple people on live. You can follow us on Instagram at The Real Word Ministries Inc. That's at The Real Word Ministries Inc. Check us out on YouTube. The Real Word TV as one word, The Real Word TV, or just put in Rickard Jean-Noel on YouTube. You can also catch us on our official website, www.therealwordministriesinc.org. That's therealwordministriesinc.org. You can catch us on Pandora, Spotify, Soundcloud, and Apple Podcasts at The Real Word Podcast. That's The Real Word Podcast. All of which will be in the description below. So thank you for joining us tonight. God bless.
It's the real word. It's the real word.